You don't choose your house number, but it might be choosing your future. Some homeowners step into wealth without even trying. Others hustle for decades and still drown in bills, stress, and missed chances. What's the difference? Talent, timing. Luck, try this. Stand outside your home, look at your house number, and realize it may be the silent architect of your struggles. In Feng Shui, house numbers are not random. Each one vibrates with energy that either opens doors or shuts them. Some numbers magnetize prosperity, clarity, and flow. Others quietly block progress, like a smile masking a closed gate. Thousands live under house numbers that work against them and never know it. They blame the economy, their age, their skills, but they never think to blame a number nailed above their door. In the next few minutes, you'll discover which numbers attract wealth and ease, and which ones sabotage you no matter how hard you work. You'll also learn the small, almost ridiculous tweak that can shift the entire energy of your home. Because sometimes, changing your life doesn't start with a new job or mindset. It starts with one forgotten digit. Ask yourself this: what if you've been living under the wrong number your entire life? Part 1, the silent energy of numbers, what's hiding in plain sight. You probably don't remember the moment you first saw your house number. Maybe it was printed on a flyer, listed in a real estate app, or just hanging above the front door during your first visit. It didn't mean much, just a way to find the house. But what if that number, so easily overlooked, has been shaping the rhythm of your life ever since? We tend to blame external things when life feels stuck. Bad timing, the economy, poor luck. But there are stories that don't quite add up. Two people, same skills, same ambition. One moves into a new home and within months, everything clicks. Money flows, ideas bloom, energy lifts. The other stays in place and watches life grow heavier, as if some invisible weight sits on their shoulders. They work just as hard, but things don't move. There's a reason that keeps resurfacing in patterns across countless households, especially among those who have tried everything and still feel like something isn't quite right. That reason, the number attached to your front door. In Feng Shui, numbers aren't passive, they carry energy. Each digit pulses with a frequency, like a quiet current running through your living space. When these digits come together in your house number, they form a kind of energy code. Some codes open pathways, others close them. And most people live under a number that's either lifting them up or silently weighing them down, without ever knowing why. Think about it this way: your house is more than shelter. It's where you wake, work, argue, heal, dream, rest, cry, and start over. It's your recharge station. So when the foundational energy of that space is out of sync, your entire life starts to feel slightly off, not broken, just misaligned. Like a faucet that only drips or a window that never quite closes. Something's always off and you feel it even if you can't name it. That's what Feng Shui house numbers touch. They don't make promises of magic or instant wealth, but they do explain why you might feel exhausted even when you've done everything right. Why your finances won't stabilize even with careful planning. Why your motivation comes and goes like a flickering light. It's not you. It might be the number over your head, the one on every bill, every delivery label, every memory formed within those walls. This isn't abstract philosophy, it's measurable. Feng Shui practitioners use a method called digit summation. You add the digits in your address together until you get a single digit. That number carries the energetic imprint of your home. It's like reading your house's emotional blueprint. Some numbers are naturally harmonious. Others are challenging, but none are neutral. And here's the catch: this energy doesn't just stay inside the walls. It seeps into your decisions, your habits, your sense of clarity. It shows up in subtle ways, The job you almost got but didn't. The investment that felt right but backfired. The friend who drifted without explanation. The day that always feels just a little bit harder than it should be. We're not taught to question these things. We're taught to push harder, fix ourselves, try again. But what if the missing piece isn't within you? It's around you. What if your home, the space that should restore you, is accidentally draining you? It doesn't mean your house is cursed. It doesn't mean you made a mistake. But it does mean you deserve to understand the energy signature you've been living under. Because once you see it, you can work with it. You can soften it, shift it, support it. And in doing so, you allow your life to breathe again. It starts with awareness. Awareness that numbers aren't just identifiers, they're energetic companions. They travel with us every day. So before you dismiss the idea as just numbers, take a moment to ask, if this simple thing has been influencing everything, wouldn't you want to know? Because the moment you understand the silent energy of your house number, you stop guessing. You stop blaming yourself, and you start creating change, not from effort alone, but from alignment. That's the kind of shift that doesn't just make life easier, it makes it finally make sense. Part 2, how to hear what your house is saying. A simple way to calculate. Most people assume their house number is just a label, like a name tag. It doesn't seem to carry meaning beyond helping mail arrive at the right place. But once you begin to notice how the energy of your home affects your mood, your motivation, even your finances, you start to wonder, what is this number trying to tell me? The good news is, your house is already speaking. And the method for understanding its message is surprisingly simple. In Feng Shui, there's a process called digit summation. It's a way to distill your full house number into a single-digit energy signature. That final number, between 1 and 9, represents the vibrational theme your home carries every day. Here's how to calculate it. Take the digits in your house number and add them together. If the result is more than one digit, add those digits together again until you reach a single number. Let's say your house number is 816. Add 8 plus 1 plus 6 equals 15. Then 1 plus 5 equals 6. Your house's energy number is 6. Another example, if your address is 357, 3 plus 5 plus 7 equals 15, then again 1 plus 5 equals 6. Even though the original numbers are different, the energy they carry is the same. What if your address includes a letter, like 24B or A12? You can simply ignore the letter and add only the numbers. For A12, add 1 plus 2 equals 3. For B25, add 2 plus 5 equals 7. Letters are often decorative or organizational. They don't carry energetic weight in this calculation. If you live in an apartment, you should calculate based on your unit number, not the building number. That's because your personal energy is most affected by the space you physically inhabit, not the entire complex. What makes this method powerful is its clarity. It doesn't require years of study or spiritual training. It's just math with meaning. And once you know your number, you'll begin to notice the patterns. How your life flows or stalls, where your energy lifts or dips. Awareness is the first act of alignment. So the next time you pass your front door, glance at that number, not as a label, but as a guide. It's been quietly shaping your experience all along. Isn't it time you learn to speak its language? Part 3, the Prosperity Trio. Why 6, 8, and 9 are like open windows. Some numbers feel like heavy doors that never quite open. Others feel like windows, wide, bright, and full of movement. In Feng Shui, 3 numbers are known for their lightness, their flow, their almost magnetic ability to attract growth and peace: 6, 8, and 9. This is the prosperity trio. Let's start with the number 6. In the energy language of Feng Shui, 6 is about flow. Not the chaotic kind that overwhelms you, but the steady, dependable current that keeps money moving, conversations clear, and opportunities arriving without force. Homes with a total of 6 often feel in sync, even if the people inside aren't actively chasing success. There's a natural order, a sense that things fall into place more often than they fall apart. Take the story of a woman who ran a handmade candle business from her dining room table. Sales were decent, but unpredictable. Then she moved into a new home with a house number that totaled 6. Within months, her customer base doubled. Wholesale orders came in without her seeking them. She didn't change her marketing or product. What shifted was the energy in her home. It no longer resisted her growth. It supported it. Number 6 tends to be especially helpful for people who run businesses from home, manage family finances, or are entering a chapter where stability matters more than ambition. It's the number of calm productivity and intuitive alignment. Life still has its challenges, but they feel navigable. Then there's 8. If 6 is flow, 8 is structure. It represents accumulation, wealth building, and long-term security. Not the thrill of a lottery win, but the confidence of knowing your foundation is strong. People who live in homes with a total of 8 often notice increased financial awareness. They make smarter decisions, spot risks sooner, and build assets that hold their value over time. A man in his early 60s once shared how, after years of shaky investments, he moved into a house with an 8. It wasn't fancy. But within a year, his finances stabilized. He didn't earn more, but he lost less. His retirement fund grew. He stopped second-guessing every purchase. His anxiety around money began to lift. What makes 8 powerful is its grounding quality. It's not just about more, it's about enough. And for many people in midlife or retirement, that shift in mindset is deeply healing. Now let's talk about 9, the highest single-digit number and often the most misunderstood. If 6 is about ease and 8 about endurance, 9 is about expansion. This number carries the energy of completion, wisdom, and influence. It's for those who feel called to teach, to create, to lead, not from ego, but from a deep place of offering. One retired school principal moved into a home with a house number totaling 9. She planned to settle down quietly, maybe travel a bit. But soon, she found herself mentoring young educators, getting invited to speak at panels, even starting a podcast. None of it was planned, but everything felt right. That's the gift of 9. It opens doors you didn't know you wanted to walk through and helps you walk through them with clarity. Homes with the energy of 9 often support those entering a legacy phase of life, people who aren't just thinking about comfort, but about meaning. It can feel like your home is gently urging you to step into your next chapter, even if it looks very different from your last. Together, 6, 8, and 9 don't guarantee prosperity, but they do create fertile ground for it. Like sunlight, water, and rich soil, they don't make the seed grow, but they give it every reason to. And what's beautiful is that these numbers don't demand perfection. You don't need to be a CEO to live in a 6 house. You don't have to be wealthy to benefit from an 8. And you certainly don't need to be famous to thrive in a 9. These energies meet you where you are and amplify what's ready to grow. So if your home adds up to 6, 8, or 9, you're living with open windows. The air moves freely. The energy uplifts. The house doesn't just shelter you, it supports you. And if you're not living under one of these numbers, don't worry. What matters most is that you start to understand the energy you do have and learn how to work with it. We'll talk more about that soon. For now, take a moment. Think about your house number. Does it feel like a window or a wall? Part 4, the numbers that drain. 4 and 7, the invisible weight. Not all numbers help, some quietly take. And the most difficult part, they don't announce themselves, they don't scream or slam doors. They simply sit there, on your mailbox, your front door, your bills, and slowly shift the atmosphere inside your home. In Feng Shui, 2 numbers are known for this invisible pull, 4 and 7. Let's begin with 4. At first glance, it looks ordinary, but energetically, it's often associated with stagnation, limitation, and endings. In many cultures, the number 4 carries the sound or symbolism of death or closure, not in a literal, dramatic way, but as a metaphor for energy that gets stuck, frozen, unable to evolve. People living in homes that total 4 often describe the same things. Motivation that comes and goes without explanation, projects that start with excitement but fade before completion, finances that stall no matter how carefully they're managed. One woman described it like this: "It's not that life is falling apart, it's that nothing moves forward, ever." That's the essence of 4. It doesn't ruin, it slows. It creates a dull fog around goals and ideas, making everything feel a little heavier, a little harder. And the danger of this kind of energy is that it's subtle. It doesn't feel like bad luck. It feels like you must be the problem. Why can't you finish what you start? Why do your plans keep circling back to the same spot? You work harder, push more, get tired, and still end up in the same place. Now let's talk about 7. While 4 blocks, 7 leaks. The energy of 7 is elusive. It doesn't strike all at once. Instead, it's like a slow drip. At first, everything seems fine. But over time, small disruptions start to appear, unexpected expenses, health dips, arguments that didn't need to happen. The good days get shorter. The peace inside the home begins to fray at the edges. One retired couple had lived happily for years in their previous home. Then they downsized to a new condo. At first, it felt fresh, but soon they noticed a shift. Their health grew fragile, bills increased. Their daughter stopped visiting as often. There was no drama, just a sense that the light in their life had dimmed slightly. They later found out their unit number added up to 7. With 7, the change is rarely dramatic, but it accumulates. A decision you'd normally feel confident about becomes clouded. You second-guess yourself. You put things off. And slowly, your forward motion disappears. It's like a small crack in the foundation that spreads until one day, you look around and realize nothing feels quite steady anymore. What makes 4 and 7 particularly draining is how quiet they are. You don't suspect them, you blame yourself. You adapt over and over thinking, maybe I'm just tired, maybe I'm not trying hard enough. But it's not about effort, it's about misalignment. Now, does that mean you need to move immediately if your house number is 4 or 7? Absolutely not. Energy can be shifted, but first it needs to be recognized. Awareness is the first kind of protection. When you know your home might be holding this invisible weight, you can begin to shift it, with adjustments we'll talk about soon. Sometimes, even a small symbolic change is enough to create movement where there was none. But more importantly, knowing that you are not the problem can restore a kind of peace that makes healing possible. So ask yourself, do you often feel like your best efforts aren't enough? That your energy is constantly leaking without explanation? Have you felt emotionally or financially stuck without a clear cause? If so, take a quiet look at your house number, not with fear but with curiosity. It might just explain more than you ever imagined. Part 5, Simple Adjustments. A letter, a shift, a new beginning. If your house number adds up to 4 or 7, or simply doesn't feel aligned with the life you want to create, there's good news. You don't have to move. You don't have to start over. Sometimes all it takes is one small change, barely noticeable on the outside, to redirect the energy of your entire home. In Feng Shui, energy responds to intention. A space doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to feel alive, aware, in motion. When the number attached to your home creates stagnation or subtle loss, even a symbolic adjustment can begin to lift that weight. One of the simplest and most effective ways: add a letter. Let's say your house number is 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. Instead of staying under the stagnant energy of 4, you can add a letter like 13A. Now the sum changes, not mathematically, but energetically. That added character creates a break in the pattern, a new layer of frequency, a soft nudge to the energy flow. This isn't about superstition. It's about signaling change. Energy, like water, needs direction. And when you introduce a new symbol, even a small one, you give that energy a new path to follow. Many homeowners report unexpected shifts after doing this. One woman shared that after adding a B to her number 25, 2 plus 5 equals 7, her headaches, which had been constant for months, suddenly eased. Her work-from-home schedule began to flow more smoothly. It was like my house finally started supporting me, she said. She hadn't changed her habits. She de-changed the energy blueprint. Another way to adjust: use a slash or dash to divide your number. For example, turning 13 into 13. It's a subtle disruption, enough to loosen the old frequency and introduce possibility. Think of it like turning a stagnant pond into a stream. The form is nearly the same, but now there's movement. What matters most is the intention behind the change. When you touch your address, when you edit it, bless it, acknowledge it, you're telling your space, I see you. I want harmony here. I'm ready for more. That alone begins the shift. Of course, not all adjustments are external. You can also work from within your home to soften the influence of challenging numbers. We'll talk more about that soon. But if you're looking for a first step, something small, gentle, and within your power, start with your number. Add a letter, shift a format, create a crack in the wall that's been holding energy still. Because sometimes what's keeping your life stuck isn't a big, dramatic problem. It's a quiet, unseen misalignment. And sometimes the way forward begins with a single character. One you choose, one that says, "This house, this life, is now open to something new." Part 6, Sacred Objects, helping the house breathe again. Sometimes energy gets stuck in a house the way dust collects in corners. Slowly, invisibly, until one day you wake up and realize you haven't felt light in a long time. Even after cleaning, organizing, or redecorating, something still feels off. The air feels heavy. The silence feels louder than it should. That's when it's time to help your home breathe again, not just through physical changes, but through objects chosen with deep, gentle intention. Sacred objects in Feng Shui aren't decorations. They're energy anchors. They don't just sit, they work. Each one carries a purpose: to attract, protect, harmonize, or release. And the most beautiful part, you don't need a collection. Just one object placed with care can shift the atmosphere of a room and of your life. Let's begin with the wealth vase. It's one of the oldest and most respected Feng Shui tools for abundance. Traditionally, a wealth vase is filled with symbolic treasures: coins, crystals, gold-colored trinkets, sometimes even soil from a prosperous place. But at its core, it's not about what's inside. It's about the energy you pour into it. You can create your own using a small ceramic jar, placing inside it objects that represent security, growth, and dreams you hold close. Then, place it quietly in the southeast corner of your home, known as the wealth area. You don't need to display it. It doesn't need to be seen to be felt. Another quiet protector, lucky coins often tied with red string. These are symbols of flow and fortune. Hang them near your front door on the inside, where they welcome every energy that enters. You can also place them under a mat or inside a drawer near the entry. Their job is simple: to ensure what's meant for you finds its way, and what's not is filtered out before it reaches your space. For those who feel their home carries lingering tension or heaviness, citrine is a gentle companion. Known as the merchant stone, citrine is light-filled, warm, and energetically clarifying. It's not just for money, it's for peace, clarity, and inner expansion. Place a small citrine crystal in your living room, near your workspace, or beside your bed. Its presence is like morning sunlight, steady, uplifting, and unspoken. Another powerful ally, mirrors, but not for vanity or reflection. In Feng Shui, mirrors can redirect and deflect energy. If your house number carries a challenging vibration, like 4 or 7, placing a small mirror near your entryway can help bounce some of that energy away before it fully settles in. Choose a round or oval mirror with a soft edge, and make sure it reflects something peaceful, never clutter or darkness. Then there are living objects, plants, perhaps the most natural way to invite movement and breath into a space. The money tree, jade plant, and lucky bamboo are more than beautiful. They're energy cultivators. They grow with you. They respond to your care. Place them near doorways, windows, or in the wealth corner of your home. Watch how they change not only the room, but your state of mind. A plant with healthy roots tells your space, this home is alive. You might also consider a bowl of sea salt placed discreetly in rooms that feel emotionally charged. Salt absorbs stagnant energy like a sponge. After a week or so, dispose of it and refresh. It's a quiet ritual, but a powerful one. And above all, choose what resonates. No object is magical on its own. Its power comes from the intention behind it. Don't fill your space with items because someone said you should. Choose because it feels right, because when you hold it in your hands, something softens. A woman once placed a single citrine stone on the windowsill of her small kitchen. Every morning as the light passed through it, she felt, without understanding why, a little more stable, a little more trusting. That's the gift of sacred objects. They don't speak loudly. They sit with you day after day until one morning you realize the air feels lighter, and so do you. So if your home has felt off, if you've struggled with money, rest, or peace, don't just push through it. Invite harmony in. Place one thing, just one, that carries meaning for you, not to fix your house, but to support it. Because your home is not just a shell around your life, it's a living part of it. And when you care for its energy, it begins to care for you in return. Final, you've lived with your house number for years, maybe decades. You've passed it on your way in and out, written it on envelopes, recited it to delivery drivers, and likely never paused to wonder, what kind of energy does this number carry? But now you know, a house number isn't just an address, it's a frequency. A tone your home hums every day, whether you're aware of it or not. Some numbers flow like rivers, bringing opportunity, stability, and renewal. Others quietly resist, like wind against a closed window, slowing things down, creating friction you can't quite name. What you've learned here isn't just spiritual, it's energetic logic. Numbers, like sounds or colors, hold vibration. And when those vibrations surround your rest, your work, your family, day after day, they begin to shape your rhythm, your choices, your outcomes. You've discovered how to calculate your home's number. You've seen how 6, 8, and 9 uplift, how 4 and 7 subtly drain. You've learned that small changes, a letter, a mirror, a plant, a crystal, can shift the tone of a space without requiring a single wall to move. You've realized that your home is not passive. It's participating in your life. And now, so are you. More than anything, this isn't about superstition. It's about awareness. It's about stepping out of autopilot and asking, what energy am I living in? And is it helping me grow or holding me still? It's about no longer blaming yourself for things that never quite worked, and no longer waiting for life to change from the outside in. Because energy begins at home, not just in your routines or relationships, but in the literal bones of the house you return to every evening. When you understand your house number, you understand one more layer of what shapes your life. You begin to make space not only for things, but for possibility. So perhaps tonight, when the house is quiet and the lights are low, you'll glance at that number by your door, not with judgment, but with curiosity. With the kind of reverence you'd give to something that's been trying to speak to you all along. What might shift if you finally decide to listen?